Hello and welcome to my dermatoscope reviews. This dermatoscope is the Dermlite DL5, and for today I'm just showing you the equipment. To learn how to use it in more detail and how to interpret what you see, please come along to one of our Dermoscopy for Absolute Beginners courses, which can be accessed through the PCDS website, pcds.org.uk. So this is the Dermlite DL5. As you can see from the scope, it fits in my hand quite nicely. It's a reasonable size scope, so it's not going to fit easily into a pocket. It has a large end plate here, which means that you can see big lesions all in one go, which is great, but it does also make it slightly harder to get into small areas, for example, between the toes and the concavities of the face. And the whole of the head of the scope is actually quite wide itself. We've got several buttons to go through now. This is the first one. So on this side, we have the on-off button. Now this one, if I press it once, will turn it on. And if I keep my finger on it, that will turn it off. This button also has a wheel. So when it's turned on, the wheel will move it. If you turn the wheel, it will move it from cross-polarized to polarized, to non-polarized, and then to parallel polarized by just moving this wheel. And you can see the little light go across as you do that. The markings on it here, we have the cross marking here for cross-polarized. We have the round one here, which is just for daylight. And this one here, the parallel lines, is for parallel polarized light. So that's how to use that button. On this side, we have two buttons. Now the top one, if I can get it to show, there we go. The top one has got a little diamond shape on it, and the lower one has got a little knob on it. So when we press these buttons, once it's turned on, there we go, that's it turned on, the top light will switch it to ultraviolet light. And you can see there, now we've got UV light that is fluorescing quite nicely on my PCDS logo there. So I'll turn that one back off again. And then the bottom one alters the warmth of the light. It alters the colour of the light. So here we've got the normal colour. There we've got a bluer light. And if you press and keep your finger on it, that gives you a very yellow light. That's the pigment boost, which I have to say I don't really use at all. So press it again to get rid of it. This wheel here will also alter the light, the brightness of the lights if you have your finger on the button. So for example, if you have your finger on this button at the bottom and you alter the brightness, you can see I'm turning brightness down and turning brightness up. And I can do the same again here by keeping my finger on the button. I can turn the brightness down and up using that wheel as well. Now there's one more light that I haven't shown you, one more button that I haven't shown you, sorry, and that is this one here in the middle there, and this one turns on a completely separate light. That one turns on an LED light just here, so it's not shining through the dermatoscope. That's a nice bright light so that you can look at the skin with the naked eye. So that's what all the buttons are. Now, focusing it is the next thing to do. And to focus it, we are going to twist this large bit here, twist this bit here, and we can see that the end plate extends as we focus it. And as I do that, you can see that there is a little marker. And if we get it to just there on the marker, that is now it focused for a camera or for someone with very good eyesight. So that's the focusing on it. The end plate will come off if you twist it and take it off like that. And because the end plate has been extended, we still have the extended part to rest on the skin if we're going to do polarized non-contact dermoscopy. And to pop it back on again, I just pop it on like that and give it a quarter turn. That's now firmly held in place and that's not going to fall off. As I've got it this way up, I'll show you this next. This is the ruler. It has an integrated ruler, which is attached by a magnet, and you need a bit of a fingernail to flick it off. But here we have a little ruler, which you can use to mark the skin, hold against the skin to see the size of your lesions. And it also has this rather nice little bit on the ruler here, which I'll try and show you, which gives you the diameter of circular lesions. So you can hold your lesion up to this, and if it's 5 millimeters diameter, it will be the 5 on there, 6, 7, 8, and so on. So that's the ruler, and I'll just reattach it magnetically. One of the nice things with the Dermlite DL5 is that when you have it on the skin, the focal distance that you can see from is actually much larger than with most of the other scopes. So you don't need to be right up close to it. It does come with a magnetic eyepiece. And if you want to, you can put your eye right up to that. And that's very good for some people. I know a lot of people like to look at it like that. But if you take it off, you will actually find that you can see from quite a distance away. And that is one of the very nice things with the optics on the DL5. When it comes to taking photos, the Dermlite adapters will fit this. The one that came in the box with it for me was this little adapter, the small one that attaches onto the phone like that. I can show you, I can remove it from the phone, comes off like that, and it just slides over the phone camera like that, twists on, and this will now attach magnetically and hold it very firmly. When you do that, I recommend attaching it either at a right angle or that way round, just so that you can still reach and see all of the controls. But I have to say that in practice, most of the time, I do just do it like that. So that will go on there. It will also fit all the other Dermlite adapters, so including, for example, the integrated one like that. It will fit onto all of the Dermlite adapters, or magnetic adapters. Important to note that when you have it attached magnetically, if you rotate the phone relative to the scope like this, it does not alter the focus of the scope. There are some dermatoscopes where it does alter their focus, so this is a much better one. And the other thing to point out with this one is that you can get the disposable ice caps for it, disposable end plates for it, covers like that, which are great for using on mucosal surfaces and on bleeding lesions, and they are disposable. To charge it, it has at the end here, if I can show you, it has a little port here for a USB-C charger. Your alternative is that you can get the docking station, and you can just pop it into the docking station and that will charge up. The thing to say with the docking station though is that it needs an ordinary USB charge into it, and on mine anyway, it didn't come with that particular lead, but I have one at home, so that's fine. If it's plugged into charge, it will not turn on. So if you come and find it in the cupboard and get it out and it's got no charge in it at all, and you plug it in to charge it thinking that you can use it with it plugged in, you can't, unfortunately. It doesn't take long to charge long enough to be able to use it, but you won't be able to use it with it plugged in. The good thing about this one though is that if you do accidentally leave it turned on, it will turn itself off, and it will turn itself off in a reasonable timescale so that it won't lose all of its charge. A few other little accessories just to be aware of. There is a small leather pouch, which so long as it's fully put away, it will go into very nicely, and that will protect it. So there's the leather pouch like that, which has a belt clip on it. The alternative that you have with it is this, which is the plastic belt clip pouch. And for this one, you just pop it straight in there, and that will also protect it and has the belt clip on it as well. So it's not a pocket size scope, this one, but it is a very decent scope. It's got excellent optics, and it has the advantage of ultraviolet light, which is very handy when it comes to looking to see if things fluoresce. So, for example, scabies burrows and indeed scabies mites will fluoresce, as will corynebacteria and various other things. And so the ultraviolet light, the other thing with the ultraviolet light is very good for is for seeing the edge of melanocytic lesions, particularly on acral sites where it can be quite hard to tell where the edge is. And for looking at blood vessels, you'll get much better views of blood vessels sometimes using the ultraviolet light. So that is the Dermlite DL5. As I say, I'm just showing you the equipment for today. To learn how to use it in more detail and how to interpret what you see, please do come along to one of our Dermoscopy for Absolute Beginners courses, which can be accessed through the PCDS website, pcds.org.uk.